beautiful souls. How are you? I hope you're doing great. I am here to talk about eclipses, which is like the funnest part for astrologers when we hit eclipse season. The eclipse season started May 11th with the new moon in Taurus this month, and it's gonna go up until July 18th. So basically it's like a 2-month opportunity period. I've been talking to many people and they're like, you know, what's going on? I feel like there's no direction, and you know, all these feelings, like the uncertainty is very, very much you know, what we feel during eclipse season. As I explained in my other video, which is still up in the link in the Instagram, in my Instagram bio, which is a YouTube. It couldn't go in here because it was over a couple minutes long. But basically, I explain how what eclipses do is that, let's say this is your life path, and this is where your soul, your destiny, where you should be, because that was your pact, right, before coming into this life. You agreed that this is what you wanted to do. So basically this is like your lifeline or your life path, right? So whenever we have eclipses, they come and they will, let's say you're here, the eclipse will put you back, like it'll do like a little slip, and it'll put you onto your life's path, right? That's what eclipses do. They'll shift a little bit. So depending on where you are, right, in relation to your life's path, okay, the eclipse will feel either smooth if it's just a little turn, or if you're out here, it's gonna be like, you know, so it's gonna be a little bit rougher, right, the further out you are from your life path. So this is basically like the most basic way that I can explain to you what eclipses are and what they do. Basically, they are here to align us with our life's purpose, right? So keeping that in mind, the eclipse that's coming on the 26th is basically it's a lunar eclipse. So we can get very emotional. We're gonna feel it. We can feel it strongly, emotionally in our day-to-day. And also, it's a south node, right? So it's a south node lunar eclipse. So that is telling us that there is something that we need to release. There's something that we need to let go, right? So since this is a full moon in Sagittarius, that thing that we need to let go are ideas and philosophies and cultural things, and maybe religious things, and maybe things we learned about, maybe even things we thought that were science, okay? And we need to just drop them and let them go, because they are not serving our evolution anymore, okay? So that's what this eclipse is gonna bring, okay? Now this eclipse is, I'm gonna pull it up right here, but this eclipse is also like falling in a moment where we have a square of Mercury and Venus to Neptune, right? So what does that mean? That means that we're gonna be like feeling a period of like confusion, that it's a feeling of not seeing clearly, because when Mercury, and Mercury is gonna be almost going into retrograde, right? When we have Mercury square to Neptune, is like, okay, the information is not complete. The information is not as I think it is, or there's missing information, or it's something that we just don't have the complete information to. So we can't really make decisions. We can't really go out and decide or take action because we don't feel it, and we know that there is something lacking or something that we're not seeing yet completely. Okay, so that's important to know. And this situation of us having to let go. So if you know your chart, go to the areas the area where you have Sagittarius, and it's going to be Sagittarius on the 5th degree, 05 degree of Sagittarius. And that is the area in which you're going to have to let go of something. And sometimes it's not something physical, and it has to do more with something of ideas, of philosophies, especially with this eclipse, which has to do with Sagittarius. So it's more about letting go of, things, the way we were seeing certain things and our perspective on certain things. Okay, so you know that in the evolutionary process of humanity right now, we are evolving from the 3D dimension to the 5D. And what is a 3D? This is the 3D. This body is a 3D. My name, all this is 3D, right? Whatever has weight, mass, and volume, basically, is 3D. And we have to go now, it is our evolutionary process to go beyond that 3D and to understand that we are not only the body and that we are not only the mind, but that this exact person here in the 3D exists also in the 5D, right? And in the 5D it holds another form, which is less dense, which is not in the 3D, but it still holds information. It still holds the ability to manifest. And that is our challenge, to connect to the 5D. And the eclipses will always bring us, like I say, they're always gonna push us or lead us to our life's path and purpose, right? So we must keep this in mind, because sometimes we are in the 3D experiencing certain situations and difficulties or things that are challenges, and we are not going to be able to resolve them from this perspective. It's like Einstein said that you can't solve problems at the level they were created. So you can't fix a problem at the level it was created, basically. And he always said, think in terms of energy and frequencies, right? So this is what it means. This is what it means when we have certain situations in our 3D that we don't know how to resolve, or we see them so challengeful or so sticky to be in there. We have to transcend. There's no other option, that we have to transcend. So we have to align with our higher self. We have to align to our 5D and allow that 5D person, that 5D character, to bring and unload that information onto us, so we can operate from a different place that is not here, that is not the 3D. So it's important. That's why more and more people now are doing like breath work, or doing meditations, and people are kind of like getting more and more out of the body. Like nowadays, everybody and their mother teaches yoga, for example, and it's something that became like a stepping stone to get to where we're at now, right? And now it's more about, you know, doing the breath work, doing the inner work, doing the meditation, where we can really connect to this other dimension, because humanity is in the process of becoming a terrestrial being, right? To becoming a cosmic being. So again, all this age of Aquarius, all this evolution, all this that we are living can be resumed in the following. Men, humanity, we are in the process of shifting from being human beings, terrestrial human beings, to being cosmic or galactic beings. Okay? And how do we do that? How can we activate that dimension? Well, first we have to access it. And the way to access it is getting out of the 3D. So the 3D is going to push you to the point where you have to get out, where you have to kind of like see that you are stuck, and you have to be stuck enough, and it has to feel bad enough and sticky enough for you to transcend into the 5D. So basically that's what we're going to be facing like this month and next month with the eclipses coming on, because the eclipses are always like moving. They move things very quickly. When we have eclipses, you know, everything seems to move really fast, because that is like the normal accelerators of the universe, you know, and that's why we have them. So again, depending on where you are standing in your life, and each of I really believe in the, you know, in the intuition of each person, that each of you knows how far away are you from your purpose, from that life's path, and you will feel the movement that is gonna bring you, you know, back on the path. And the eclipses will bring you this within the next 2 months. So and there are windows of opportunity that really stay open for 6 months. So it's not like a month or a 2-month thing. It's just that we feel it more the first 2 months, but the window stays open for the next 6 months, right? Until the next eclipse comes, which will be in November. But anyways, this is really what I wanted to share with you, that that we as humans are passing from being terrestrial beings into being galactic beings. And this requires a shift, an energetic shift, a perception shift, acknowledging that we are, you know, moving from one dimension to the other, and that we can be in both, and that we can be like the higher self, guiding and looking in the body, and, you know, living through the density of the 3D without necessary, you know, going through the suffering of the 3D. So keep that in mind, because it has like, it does like a totally different perspective, you know, it's a totally different perspective. And then the next new moon eclipse is going to be June 10th in Gemini, and that's going to be a new moon eclipse, and I'm going to be talking to you more about that later on. But this is what I wanted to share with you today about the eclipse season, okay? So thank you for being here, and thank you for listening, and thank you for your time. I know, so important, and I love you for that, for being here and giving me your attention. Thank you.